Son of a bitch, Paul, why didn't you just go home? That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me! Suck my white ass, Paul!
I haven't done Sleeveless in a long time on the show because I haven't gone to the gym.
Yeah. For good reason.
Yeah.
For good reason. I think we should just have a rule.
We're talking about a little film from, your prime, some would say, your heyday.
My heyday, yes, correct.
Happy Gilmore. Adam Sandler. This was like his second leading man role.
Yeah, Billy Madison, a big success as far as comedies go.
Mm-hmm.
And hot off the presses comes the next year, Happy Gilmore. What do you think's better? Let me ask you this question. What do you think is better between those two? And what do you think his biggest or I don't want to say best.
Here? We're starting here?
I don't know. Do you not want to start here?
No,
I mean,
big takes, baby. What do you think is the best?
Let's say comedic, because his dramatic stuff, some very good, some not, but some very good. I would put those in sort of two different categories because he is known for his comedy. Am I right? He is more a comedic actor than anything else. So where do you rank this among his films? And Billy Madison being, I would assume, is on the top of a lot of people's lists. I'm also curious of comparison between those two movies. But where do you want to start with those two questions?
Well, I'll tell you this. If Billy Madison is what you think the best Adam Sandler movie is, you're an idiot. Full stop. I'm coming out. You want to start with big takes. Here we go.
Wow. You think, for clarity's sake, again, we're disregarding his dramatic movies.
I look at Adam Sandler's career like in chapters. And to me, his leading man chapter, that's sort of like prime, was it Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, The Wedding Singer, Little Nicky, The Water Boy, and then sort of like moving on into Big Daddy and Mr. Deeds, like in the early 2000s there. I guess I'll lump some of those together. But really, those first 4 or 5 were kind of like the block, the prime. So I want to talk about all those movies, even though we're here to talk about Happy Gilmore. But I think Happy Gilmore is the best. I mean, for my money, Happy Gilmore is the funniest / best of probably all of Adam Sandler's movies. I think, because anything after that in later chapters, it isn't very good. I'm not really a fan of the Grown-Ups franchise.
It's not probably. It is. It is his best comedic film. I almost want to say by far. I like Billy Madison. I enjoy it. I'll always watch it when it's on. But I think it is a far worse film than Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
Personally. I feel like this episode, I am going to spill a little spoiler here. This episode, I'm going to speak about Happy Gilmore as if it's The Godfather. I feel like that's what I'm going to sound like.
Look how they massacred my boy.
I'm going to sound like, wow, Keith thinks this is the greatest movie of all time. And I don't. I don't think it's the greatest movie of all time. But I think it is his best. And I think it is done at a time where movies mattered and they did movies better. This is one of the best blueprints, I think, to make a comedy film. Film being the key operative word, not just like a funny movie. Like, I think the blueprint is here. Not the only blueprint, but a blueprint is here to how to successfully do a comedy film.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think...
Love that.
I think Happy Gilmore is a hilarious movie, a very well-constructed movie, and to your point, feels like a film in a way that, even like Billy Madison, which like I jokingly hate on Billy Madison, but Billy Madison has a ton of funny bits, like really funny stuff. But it's kind of just like a really stupid story that just is this skeleton, this framework off of which these funny bits can occur. And that's still great. It's, smoke a joint and watch Billy Madison and you have a great time. Not that I would know. But Happy Gilmore is like, actually feels like, and again, now I'm going to sound like, I'm going to be overpraising it. But there's a deeper level of thought and care to like the arc, character development, while also being really, really funny, but being more grounded, right? I've never liked, just personally in my own taste, like I came around on Billy Madison because it's so funny and because of every scene that Chris Farley is in.
I'll turn this damn bus around. That'll end your precious little field trip pretty damn quick, huh?
But Happy Gilmore was always my far and away favorite, and The Wedding Singer too, because it also exists in a sort of real world. Like, I think The Wedding Singer is a great film.
The best man, everybody.
Best man, the better man.
Little Nicky and The Water Boy, I could always kind of take or leave. Like, there's funny stuff. Again, I laugh, but like those aren't. And we can talk about why that is, because I think we'll probably agree on that.
Yeah, I don't like agreeing this much, but it sounds like we're going to agree on this one.
We're
wholeheartedly.
We're two guys that are in our early 40s who love movies.
Who love this movie.
Happy Gilmore is right in our wheelhouse, so it hit us at the right age. What's your first memory of Happy Gilmore?
Oh, I love this. Happy Gilmore is the first movie I saw multiple times in the theater.
Ah.
Happy Gilmore is the first movie I was like, I have to see that again. And I went the next week to the movies to see it again. It is the hardest I laughed in the movies to that point. And I think Wedding Crashers is the only other movie that is comparable into terms of how much fun I had belly laughing at a film.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are the two that come to mind when I think of comedy films. Suck My White Ass Ball.
Suck my white ass ball!
Which is, you're gonna die, clown.
You're gonna die, clown!
You're gonna die, clown. Like, there's so many. What am I, 14?
Yeah, 12, 13, 14.
I'm 13 years old. Like, this is laugh for laugh, like perfect for me. And I'm just gonna, I ate this up with a bowl and a spoon.
Yeah.
Let them cook, baby. Like, it is just, it was perfect for me at the time. And I think has aged very well as this mature person stands in front of you.
Yes.
I think I can appreciate different things about this film at 42 now, a young 42, that I didn't then, but it speaks to how good I think this movie is overall.
Yeah. Suck My White Ass Ball is something I say on a weekly basis to this day. I'll just, like, anytime I'm frustrated, literally, that's probably my most quoted line.
Anytime I'm in a professional setting, I try and use
anytime, I'm just like getting frustrated at work, just like, suck my white ass ball. But to your point, as you get older, now one of my favorite lines is Vern saying,
quite a large and economically diverse crowd here at the Michelob Invitational.
like, that is very, very funny. Yes, I remember seeing this movie and just like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Like 12, 13, hitting me in the face. And having been someone that was not, even as a kid, didn't love Billy Madison. Like, it wasn't my type of comedy. I think I actually liked it less as a little kid than I do now. But Happy Gilmore was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And my old buddy, childhood buddy, shout out Alex James, he and I would watch this. We slept over at each other's houses, every night and watch this all night. It's the only thing we did. This and Hot Shots Part 2. we're always on.
True story. Yesterday, I made my at a professional team meeting. I had them pull up Hot Shots Part 2, a scene from Hot Shots Part 2 to reference an idea I had and how I saw something sort of playing out.
Yeah.
I love Hot Shots Part 2. I want to do an episode on it. I love it.
Keith has since been let go, so we're gonna have a lot more time to do all of these.
Yeah. Yes, I'm very unemployed now.
That's awesome.
Love that movie.
Just remember, oh man, then the quotability, like you mentioned, like to this day too, I say, "Get me out of here."
Get me out of here!
All the time.
Mister.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't tell you. Well, I mean, this can act as a segue, but how many times have I said in my lifetime, "Oh, your fingers hurt"?
Now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty.
Ben Stiller,
just fucking brilliant.
Give him an Oscar for that. His little
yes.
Me and I think Richie always used to laugh at like when he's like doing this and then like Happy turns around and he goes like, heh.
Yeah.
Just like this little like heh, like weaselly. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny.
If we can speak intelligently rather than just say,
remember this part?
Do you know what was funny?
Remember this part?
You remember this part? This part was so funny. We're doing the Chris Farley show bit.
Remember
that was awesome,
when you were in the Beatles?
Remember when you were with the Beatles? Sure. That was awesome.
When you were the Beatles.
That was awesome.
You, at the top of this episode, and I couldn't agree more, you talked about sort of the character development. And I really do believe that the comedy, the fact that it is so funny, like there are funny bits, absolutely, that would just stand alone in sort of any situation. But I think they are made so much more funny by sort of the character development and like understanding of the character's wants and needs. Very like doesn't need a ton of groundwork to get for a comedy, but it is there and it is like strong enough to make all of that stuff funnier. And then on top of that, how relevant that stuff is on the character side to the plot, to the film itself, to things happening and moving the story forward.
Yeah.
That's the thing on this rewatch. And I go like, wow, it really is all here. Again, it's not The Godfather. I'm not saying it is, but it's very strong in what it does from a film standpoint. And I think that is why it's so goddamn funny.
Yeah.
And I think to tee it off to you, just let's talk about Ben Stiller and his character. I think it's arguably he's the funniest character, I think, in the movie. I might make that claim. I think he is the funniest character in the movie with such short screen time. And so much of his character like comes across in such a short, like I feel like I know this guy. Like and it makes it that much funnier.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that take that he is the funniest character in this film?
No, not remotely.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
You idiot.
Why not and who is?
Because he's very funny. And because I think my favorite, the funniest character that's in the shortest amount of time is the old Asian woman who he goes to bed with. You know all breakfast is really couldn't have nailed it better.
Hey, you know our breakfast?
But
I do want to talk about that, but go ahead.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. That's one of my favorite parts. The funniest character in the film, may he reign, is Shooter McGavin.
Well, moron, good for Happy Gilmore, oh my God!
Shooter McGavin is by far, I want to talk about this later, he should have been nominated and won. Christopher McDonald should have won every award, should have won an Oscar. This is the Mount
for
Rushmore.
Best Supporting Actor.
Mount Rushmore of comedy roles. I truly believe that this film is great without that, but it's really, he is a huge part of what makes this film so timeless. Yes. his devolving into the most insecure madman by the end. That last competition is some of the best acting I've ever seen. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Very committed.
No, his arc, and the fact that we can say that there is an arc, because there is a clear, he is unfazed, he is mildly phased, he begins to panic, and then he ascends into madness. There is a real, and he, from a performance standpoint, hits those notes perfectly. I couldn't agree with you more. He is the best, like, character to make this a real film. The foil to your hero, I think, is dependent on whether you have a good film or not. Like, the stronger your villain, I'll say it forever. Like, the stronger your villain, the more you can identify and see the morals and the values and the more you can. The stronger that character, the better your film is as a whole in any sort of good versus evil, quote, quote, type film. And it's spot on. but I don't think he's the funniest. I think Ben Stiller is his bit makes me laugh more.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
To defend that side of it. But yes, Christopher McDonald is fantastic, and he is perfect for this. He's just perfect for this role. And I did find out a lot of that stuff came from Christopher McDonald, like the Shooter McGavin, the guns.
Yeah.
Came from him. He put a lot of touches from interviews that I've seen. The character was a little bit more vanilla, and he added a lot sort of to it, which credit to him. That's great writing mixed with great performance actors, and then you get great work. It's how everything works together.
Yeah, he's so special because it's over the top, but it's never to me like cartoonishly fake over the top, like something like if that was the villain in Billy Madison, like, you know what I mean? Like they would be like, oh no, just do whatever's funny, even if it's not grounded in reality. And he takes it all the way to the edge of like, this is a cartoon villain, but you can see his humanity in there. You could, like, I always say, like, his final choke on that, baby, like Shootout, like you just, he's so vulnerable, which I know is a weird thing to say in that scene. His insecurity is pouring out of his body in that scene. That's why it's so funny. This is, Keith always talks about, this is what we do here. Over dissect things is just funny. Shut up.
Makes the channel great, baby.
But like,
what makes the channel great?
That performance, the depth in that moment is like everything to me. Where you're like, it's not as funny if he's just being like, choke on that, baby, and being like stupid. It's like, no, you can see that he's lost it, and and
you can see how important that moment is. There, like the value of that moment comes out in that performance. So it is funny because he's taking it so seriously because it means so much.
Yeah. Shout out Christopher McDonald forever.
Forever. I believe that is another moment where that's a real life putt, if I remember correctly. Is that it was towards the end of the day, and they're like, we got to get this putt on camera. We'll make you make the putt. And he goes, no, you got to see me make the putt. They're like, he's like, you can't cut away. Yeah. And they're like, we're running out of time. And he said, I want to say it was like, give me 5 chances. And he hit it on like the 3rd or 4th chance. And I think that goes to the natural part of sort of that natural reaction that you're getting from it. Yeah. Is because partly it is a natural reaction.
Yeah. To your back to your original point before we got sidetracked by the greatness of Shooter McGavin is I noticed from minute 1, and I remember thinking this when I first saw it, was that like the film's choosing to use a lot of popular music helped a lot and helps it feel more like a film and kind of an event. Whereas I remember Billy Madison used those like the really traditional like 90s score, like orchestral, you know, like it was House Guest or Father of the Bride or just like that kind of, but cornier.
Yeah.
Whereas this one starts with Tuesday's Gone by Lynyrd Skynyrd with that slideshow, the old family movies. And like that immediately, like, oh, this feels more important. And that energy is kind of like, even though there's a lot of goofiness in those early family footage, it feels like real and relatable and like emotional because I'm watching old family movies. Like that does a huge part of bringing us into this world. Like I'm connected to these characters and I'm laughing.
Absolutely. You learn. Again, because it's a comedy, it has to be a little bit straightforward in terms of its backstory. So again, it's not revelatory, but it executes on a great, like really strong level. You learn everything you need to know about Billy Madison, damn it, about Happy Gilmore in that opening montage and then into the hockey scene. And it sets up like every aspect of his character. Yeah. I mean, he loses both as his parents at such a young age. Like your heart immediately goes out to this person. And then you also get the sense that he is warm because he loves his grandmother and he'll do anything for his grandmother. And she was the one who really raised him and took him in and cared for. You see their connection. One of the small details that I love, you see their connection later when he's riding the pony and feeling the flow. They cut to the grandmother who's doing the same thing. Like clearly that's a thing that they did when they were younger and as a kid and it's still part of him. Like all that shit matters for why I want this guy to win. You fall in love with this character, and you do that through, again, that really strong first 5 minutes of the film. It goes by quick, it does what it needs to do, but it's really impactful and matters to the film. It's great. It's just great.
Yeah. I'll tell you, and I'll be curious if you agree, what I think really separates this film and makes it easily the best of his early films, therefore the best of all of his films, is, and it's sort of what you have talked about with Kevin Hart in a way. But the reason this film is so great and is so great 30 years later, and everyone remembers it so fondly, and there's a fucking sequel coming out, which we'll talk about, is that Adam Sandler is cool. Your lead character is cool while also being the funniest guy in the room. We talked about this, I think, in our Beverly Hills Cop episode, where it's like he can be goofy and funny, and even sometimes the butt of the joke, but he's always cool. Whereas I think Billy Madison, Waterboy, Little Nicky, he's not cool. Like he is, most of the comedy comes from him being stupid or weird or an outcast. Whereas The Wedding Singer's, he's cooler too, but in The Wedding Singer, he's still a little more, I don't know, insecure a little bit. Happy Gilmore, he's like, he's the coolest dude, but you can see his flaws. And like, so even though he's got rage issues and he's got insecurities, you still want to be him. You want to root for him. You think he's a badass. You want to see him win. Like all of that stuff goes a really long. You want him to get the girl. Yeah. You can believe that he might. Whereas like Billy Madison, Veronica Vaughn is not not bringing that young man home.
That Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace.
I couldn't agree more. He is a great protagonist for the film. Like the character, he does a great job portraying it, and the character itself, like as written or as designed, is a great protagonist. And Christopher McDonald is a great opposite to that. Those characters work really well as protagonists and antagonists, and everything sort of stems off of that. I think Chubbs is obviously incredibly funny, but I love how quickly you realize that he's a struggling golfer who fell on tough times, is bored with his life, riddled with missed opportunities and potential that never was, and sees Happy Gilmore and sees an opportunity selfishly to make something of himself. That is a dramatic premise. Yeah. That, if I said that that's like a gut-wrenching like golfer tale that like, or not even golfer, to just like missed potential. That's a dramatic premise, and I always think comedies work best on dramatic premises. Yeah. And all these characters, if you strip away the comedy from it and just kind of see what their arc is, dramatic across the board.
Yeah.
Every main character has that sort of heart and soul to it. That's what's simply amazing about this film, and what's really depressing that has been removed from all comedy films that are made today for the most part.
100%.
It's just like, that's the stuff that makes it great and makes it even more funny.
Yeah. Like if you take away the specific details and you just say, what's this movie about? And you say, oh, it's about this hockey player who's down on his luck. They're repossessed in his grandma's house, run out of money, and this old golfer who, is past his prime and washed up, takes him under his wing because he sees the power he's got in his shot, and they go on and they, they build this relationship. And you remove the wooden hand from the fucking crocodile and all that, like all those details, and it's like, yeah, that's just a good story. And to what your point that you always say is it always starts with the story and the storytelling. And I think a lot of comedies today are just like, what's this film about? Oh, well, there's gonna be cameos, and he's gonna go to all these places, and you're gonna see all these famous people, and there's this really funny part where, and it's like, wait, no, what's it about? And that gets lost.
No. It's a thing, and a dog farts in a taco.
Yeah.
Right? Listen, let me finish. It's in the taco, right?
Bad Bunny's gonna be there. We're gonna get,
It's yeah. Movies just need to be good movies, and then you add the comedy into it. It's just like how you position the story you're telling.
Yeah, 100%. And let this be a lesson to you.
I'm teaching classes.
Boom. I got a question for you. What was Julie Bowen doing out there on the 9th green at 9 wearing that little nightie?
I did think about that.
She's just walking by herself. Like, what is she going to a freak off? Like, what's going on out there at that hour?
Yeah, definitely there was freak off vibes.
We just happened to be strolling around wearing a negligee.
I did. Good on Julie Bowen. Fantastic.
We were laughing. My wife and I were laughing because we were like, in every scene, she's either wearing like the most like Hillary Clinton, like full body button, like suit, pantsuit, like prude outfit, or lingerie. Like literally just like girl, there's a middle ground here.
We're not, no, she's by day, Hillary Clinton, by night. I'll always, like, I remember Julie Bowen from this, but nothing else until she pops up in Modern Family. And I go, yeah, she's funny.
Yeah, I never really watched
great.
Modern Family, so I don't know, but I always thought she was good, and I'm happy that she's going to be in the sequel. It's probably one of the only things I'm happy about it.
I don't want to, I want to end with one of the strongest performances in the film is the gentleman who lip syncs Endless Love.
I knew you were going to say that.
That guy is fucking brilliant.
The Zamboni driver.
And I talk about, when you talk about the Shooter McGavin, like, and the heart in that moment, I feel the same way. I like the seeing his performance feels, and that subtle nod at the end.
Yes, the look down is so good.
Where he just looks down, and you can feel that he has lost a love in his life that will never be replaced.
Yeah.
It is beautiful comedic performances with committing to that bit. I like it. I love it. It's the same way that I love in the other guys where he goes, hot dogs for everybody, can't do drinks.
No drinks. No drinks. Can't do it. I can't do it.
Because I can feel him being like, oh shit, I can't commit to this. I can't do this. My whole family's going to judge me. I can't afford it. It's that same, there's a level of backstory to this man's subtle at the end that I am in love with.
Yeah, I love that whole scene. And I remember my buddy who I shouted out earlier, Alex, would just fall out of the chair laughing every time it pans over to reveal that guy. I love it. It's so funny. What?
It's so
Friends
fun.
Listen to Endless Love in the Dark.
I've said that 1,000 times.
It's a great line. Great
1,000 times. Yeah, love that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that could be something, a general topic is like, what do you think the most memorable scene sequence is? I think a lot of people, I think the correct answer from an objective standpoint is the Bob Barker fight. I think that is what most people remember and love about this movie. I think it was, I mean, it is incredible. It was incredible. It's hilarious because at that time too, Bob Barker for younger folks was is a legend. He's a legend.
Yeah.
And you never saw him.
Will always be a legend.
Never saw him act like this ever. Like he was just like, he was
Never.
someone you associated with your grandparents, like staying at home with your parents or grandparents and watching The Price is Right. He was just like an old person. Yeah. And now he's in this young person's movie, getting in a fight and using profanity. Very great scene, very great performance. But it almost became too big, where it's like, okay, that's what everyone talks about. So I don't know. It like got played out almost, you know?
Do you have an answer? I think there are too many. We've named a bunch already. There's so many to be like the definitive one. I don't know if there is. The Bob Barker, I guess. I think that is the scene that everybody was talking about. The water cooler moment, probably. Do you have another one?
Oh man, off the top of my head, I mean, I really like the one of their first scenes where his girlfriend breaks up with him and he starts singing I Want to Kiss You All Over.
I want to kiss you.
into the mic, culminating with you know on breakfast. Like that sequence, and we should say, I think we've long passed the point of when we should have mentioned and complimented Dennis Dugan, the director of this film, because so much of what we're saying, I think, is due to him and the management and implementing an actual story and feeling. Because there's a lot of subtle touches, and I always notice it and love it in that scene where he's singing "I Want to Kiss You All Over," and like there's this real slow push in as he's pressed against it, and the shot, and it's like that shot, that little push does so much, where it feels like it adds emotion to it, and it adds heft, it adds like importance to the moment, and it feels, like we said again, for lack of a better term, like a movie, and like, oh, I'm watching some intention here, and it does its job of drawing you in. And to this day, and from the first time I saw it, the second that push comes in, I like get the chills. Because I'm like, oh, yes. Like things are happening here. Yeah. It's not just fucking lock it off and,
Yeah. Just let people do stuff. Just let them talk.
Yeah.
Just let them, riff for a bit. Yeah, we got it. We'll fix it in the edit. No, it's intention. The setup is what makes the payoff worth it. So juxtaposing it against like something that feels very real. You're talking about like, yeah, you've seen this before. That in a different movie, this works. The girl comes back. In Say Anything, he holds up the boombox and they get back together again. Like, we've seen this sort of trope. So you lean into that, and then you cross back over, and that's what makes it funny. If you just go to the bit, it's not nearly as funny. My favorite part about the bit, and the thing that sticks with it, like you've said it already, is you don't want breakfast.
Yeah.
Hey, you know our breakfast?
Why that is so, it's a funny little joke. I like everything before that. It's funny. And she opens the door and the music kicks in and it's like, it didn't work out the way I thought it was. Ha ha ha. But that being the setup to the better joke that they bang is great fucking comedy. I love jokes that also work as setups for jokes that come later. Yeah. Not just callback. It's not a callback. It's different. I want to be very clear. Yeah. It's not just like we're referencing a joke. It sets up the iteration, the next iteration of that joke, or the furthering of that joke to make it new and fresh and more. Yeah. That is, whenever you can do that, I think that's fucking fantastic. So I love that You Don't Want Breakfast. It's one of my favorite bits. You've said it already as well.
And in a way, it's building upon itself throughout that whole scene to get to that climactic joke, but in a way that's not super obvious, right? Where you're just like, you don't know that that's where it's going to go. And then she shows up at the door, and the scene could end there, and that would be funny. Like, ha, ha, ha. Or what a lesser film would do, and I think like a Billy Madison type of film would do, is then it cuts to them like, actually like, not like banging necessarily, but like undressing, and it's gross, and her body's hanging, and he's like, ooh, and kissing, and like that kind of stuff. But no, it doesn't. So then it just cuts to the next morning, and it's like, oh, and it sort of leaves you like wondering, and then it pays it off again in a surprising, very funny way that she's wearing one of his jerseys. Like,
she's
she really made herself at home.
Details. I just got another thing that I think what makes comedy stronger is, and maybe I've said something like this before. It's like 85%, 15%, 80%, 85%. You bring me there from a writing, directing, performance standpoint. Bring me there. Leave the last 15% of that joke for me to figure out. Yeah. And you run the risk of people not getting it. That's the risk you take. But it's so much more rewarding. And if you do your work, more times than not, I think it's gonna land. And the fact that they just like get it, whether they like it or not, is different. But the getting it part of it, seeing her with the shirt on and her just saying, "You don't want breakfast?" The joke is they don't reference it, they don't say it. You figure that part out. You quickly, with all the seeds that are planted, you go, oh, they had one crazy night last night. That's so funny. But that's only funny because I figured it out. To your point, if you showed it to me where it was gross and weird, and that's not funny. That's just like shoving it down my throat and not rewarding for the audience. We're harping probably way too long on this one specific joke, but I think it is a great bit. I think it's a great bit and a great use of like comedy filmmaking.
100%. All right, Keith. We've mentioned all these great performances: Julie Bowen, Christopher McDonald, Chubbs, Carl Weathers.
Yep,
We didn't
Carl
talk too
Weathers,
much about Carl Weathers, but Carl, he's incredible. He's amazing.
He's fantastic.
I love.
He brings like a heft and an importance. I buy him as a rundown golfer, like
a real warmth, like a great warmth.
Yeah.
And shocking that they killed him off. To be honest, this is another thing I feel like they would never do now, where it's like you just kill off one of the best parts of your movie just for a laugh. Like that's really
No, but I don't think it's only for a laugh. I think you do get a laugh.
No, for sure.
But I think it adds more motivation. It adds, like, you got to do it for Chubbs. Like, he's got to do it for Chubbs. This is what Chubbs always wanted. We did it for hashtag. I want a shirt. We did it for Chubbs.
Yeah.
Like, it adds more emotional heft.
Nuh-uh. I called it first.
To the end.
100%. 100%. I one of the things I've always said too, we've mentioned a lot of quotes throughout, is just easing the tension, baby. Just easing the tension.
Hey, just easing the tension, baby. Just easing the tension. Well, ease it on someone else.
Like, ease it on someone else. It's like a great, it's all in the hips.
It's all in the hips. It's all in the hips. Get off of me.
Yeah,
I know the fact that he kind of drifts into a lisp the more that he does it is I don't know if that's politically correct at this point, but it makes me laugh.
He's just relaxing. He's just easing the tension.
Just easing the tension, baby.
It's so good. Ease it on someone else. Oh, also shout out to Kevin Nealon, who pops up. He's great in his little moment. I think he's really funny. The ball has a home. Its natural place is to go home. Are you too good for your home?
Feeling the flow.
Yeah, feeling the flow. Doing the bull dance.
Doing the bull dance. Feeling the flow. Working it.
The happy place. My God, everything is so funny. The little
There's
person.
so many great.
The little person writing it's just like really great stuff. Very good stuff.
It's all good stuff, man.
Well, let's talk about the man, the guy who brought it all together. Adam Sandler. We've mentioned, we started off by talking about sort of his run there in the 90s. I always kind of felt like, in a way, that they're very different, but he sort of like took the baton from Jim Carrey, because Jim Carrey really had that, like, the comedy guy. Jim Carrey was that really in 94, obviously, had those three incredible the films that came out that year that just put him at the top.
Yeah.
But, I don't want to say it was all downhill from there, because he's done some great stuff. Love Jim Carrey. But in terms of like...
if you say something bad about Jim Carrey...
I'm not, but I'm saying in terms of iconic comedy films, that was the peak, was 94. So of course it's going to be downhill, because When Nature Calls, and then we get to Batman Forever.
Perfect.
Which I love. I love him in Batman Forever. Like, I love the Riddler.
It's the best Batman. It's the best Batman.
There are those who feel that way. But then it's not very long. Like, he really started doing Truman Show and doing other stuff really soon after that. So I don't think it's disrespectful.
Majestic.
Yes, The Majestic. I don't think it's disrespectful at all to Jim Carrey to say that Adam Sandler kind of picked up the baton in 95, 96, when this movie came out in 96, and then ran with it with The Wedding Singer, and peaking for him probably maybe with The Waterboy. I don't know, in terms of comedy relevance. But so I think Adam Sandler deserves a ton of credit for really his entire career. I don't want to say that. For certainly his run there at the 90s. Like, for folks who only know him as this guy that cranks out straight to Netflix originals now and is funny and beloved. But he was really on the cutting edge there for 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, I think, but even before that, in his SNL days, just in terms of comedy as a whole, not just his early SNL stuff is fantastic too. Like, he was a comedic icon in the early 90s, and then finished as strong as you could by the end of the 90s with sort of the track record that he had amassed, and sort of everything that he has gotten since then. I don't want to say just like handed to him, just not gotten, but like all the fit is on the strength of that. So for however much general audiences or people that may be like, oh, he's not as funny anymore, or things are less. Most people, you make 2 flops, you're out of business. Like, you never work again. Comedy is probably even a shorter leash than that. To me, it just speaks to how big of a star and how iconic he was and is, to be able to operate in the manner which he does today, which is a feat that I don't even know if it's comparable, what he does today, to any other actor with the sort of just singularity in which he operates. Who else sort of has that? That's not like a director. Like some directors, probably like Tarantino, probably could like just operate the way that he just like, I just want to do this. And I'm just going to do this because I want to. Nolan can probably do that. But from an actor standpoint, like, can Leonardo DiCaprio just do that? Maybe. Like, what other actors operate in the manner that he does?
Yeah, I think it's a short list in terms of, I mean, Leo can do whatever he wants. I feel like Mark Wahlberg kind of has that, like they've built an ecosystem around themselves of like, this is what I do, this is my lane, these are my people, these are my demands, this is what it's gonna be. And that's like, I control all aspects of that. And for Adam Sandler, while I don't like the products really of anything that he's done, you know, Uncut Gems is in an interesting role choice. I always respect people for trying new things, and he does good in that movie. But like in terms of like his comedy films, I don't think I've watched any. I don't watch Murder Mystery or Howie Halloween or Hubie Halloween or the Grown Ups movies or any of these like paycheck films, one might say. But like I respect him for like, it's not, you know, like I respect him like in a selfish way. Like, yeah, it'd be great if you could do that. I can't hate on the guy for like getting in there, making a huge impact, becoming a comedy legend, and then just like hooking up his buddies forever. We're gonna, once a year, we're all gonna take a big family trip, make a shitty movie. Netflix is gonna give us $20 million. Great. Like, that's super cool. But like, I also, on the flip side, I don't like that from a consumer standpoint because it's dog shit. And then I don't like it from like an artistic integrity standpoint because it damages the medium, I feel like.
But do you think that that's what, you call them paycheck films. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, maybe you do think that's the case, but I'll ask you the question more directly. Like, do you think he is just phoning it in? Because I do not, I don't think he's just going, yeah, let's just go take a trip to Hawaii so we'll do 50 first dates.
Oh yeah, you know, I think that's 100% what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't think that. I think that is a benefit he gets from making a film that he wants to make. I think he loves making movies.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does.
And I think he still like loves comedy and loves making movies. And I don't think he'd be doing something if he thought it was bad.
I disagree.
That I don't believe.
Well, but okay. So just for this hypothetical argument's sake, maybe he doesn't think they're bad, but we've talked about this before, is like folks that do these sort of things, they think they're good enough. You know, it doesn't have to be, it's good enough. It's going to make people laugh. No, don't take it so seriously. There's probably people watching this right now who think the same way. Like, it's fine. It's fine. The Grown Ups movies are funny. The murder mystery movies are funny.
Yeah.
All of his Jennifer Aniston movies, they're just stupid fun. Shut up. Don't take it too seriously. So, whatever. Like, I think that a large part of what he does is motivated by, he loves to make movies. It's a good time. He likes hanging out with his buddies, making a shitload of money. Like that's what it is. So great. But I don't think he's going out of his way to ensure that the quality of these more recent comedy films are like really great. Like I don't think that's mentioned in the production meetings. Like, let's make sure everything we do it the very best. You know, like I don't. It's a little formulaic.
Fair. Fine. We can meet halfway.
Speaking of perhaps the greatest segue kings of all time, Happy Gilmore 2 is coming soon to Netflix.
Oh, it's coming in hot. It can't be good. I mean, the problem with this is it can't be good. Like, there's no way it's going to be good. I personally believe that as much as we are dependent on IP, not we, but the industry believes the only way to make any sort of money or cut through all the noise and make any sort of impact is to just leverage existing IP and just do more of it so it's got a leg up. I truly believe that at some point, the expectation of what the IP is becomes a detriment to what the new thing is going to be. I think Happy Gilmore 2 is guaranteed to suck because they're trying to grasp onto something that doesn't exist. So the expectations that you and I have, and I'm sure millions of other people who love the original, this is one of the best comedy. This is the best comedy he's ever made. That's now the bar. You think this movie's going to be the second best comedy he's ever, like, it's almost hurting everyone from liking it because it's just giving people a reason to say it's not that good. Where if it was just a new Adam Sandler movie, we might think we maybe. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I think there's diminishing returns to some point.
Yeah, but
30 years later.
It's going to serve its purpose because it'll be enough. The recognition and the nostalgia will be enough to get people to watch the first 10 minutes, which the data, Netflix will consider it a win. I think it's also just certain to be awful, and I'd love to be wrong. Like, I'm not going to go into it being like, it's going to be bad, and like, I'm going to give it a fair shake. But like, the reason it's going to be bad is because it looks horrible, and because of what we're just saying, like, about his sort of general track record at the moment, is that, like, I don't think anyone's really gonna put it, like, Dennis Dugan's not directing it. He has a role in it, if I understand. He's reprising his role, not directing it. It's just gonna be like the lowest hanging fruit. It's just like, what do we do? What do they want to see? Do callbacks to the old movie, do an updated version of the scene now that he's older. Remember this? Remember this? The member berries from South Park.
Remember TIE Fighters? Oh, remember Jawas? Remember?
I try to think, like, I think of Coming to America, the sequel, and how that was one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever seen, and Coming to America, the original, might be the best comedy of all time. It's in my top 2. So, like...
It's aggressive.
And I'm not, like... I don't think you or I are saying that, like, the reason it's going to be bad is because it's not going to be the best film of all. It's not going to be the same quality as the first one. But it's like, I don't think that the reason it's going to be bad is they're not even aspiring to that. They're just taking this, like, victory lap down here to kind of, like, cash grab on the nostalgia. And the only one I've seen that even did okay, I don't know how you felt, we talked a little bit offline, but was Axel Foley, like the new Beverly Hills Cop. I watched that movie on Netflix. Sure, it was going to be awful, and I thought it was okay. Like, I was pleasantly surprised in a way I did not expect to be. But now, 9 months later, I don't remember who the villain was. I don't remember the story at all. I was like, wait, was Joseph Gordon-Levitt in that movie? Like, I think he was. And so I think even its best case scenario, even at best, this is going to be just like a one-time forgettable thing. And a lot of that has to do with the nature of Netflix and the streaming service and the commodification and contentification. So it's just meant to be that. And that makes me sad because the original Happy Gilmore and movies like that lasted the test of time.
I know. It's a shame that Netflix treats its movies like social media.
Yeah.
It's just like they're meant to be watched one time. They're just meant to gather gather views. It's more about how many people do we bring to the thing rather than the thing itself. It is a shame. It is a shame because you're right. I wonder how many people in the room are actually prioritizing the film and talking and doing the things that we're saying why we love the first one because of the movie things. That, like that, you're right.
Because it is grounded.
That is a shame.
Because it is grounded. It feels like it's in a real world. This one, do you think, like, and I think the answer is no, that the first one would have Travis Kelce coming in some cameo role, who are, like, as whatever character that's going to be, like, it's just going to be a parade of pro golfers who Adam Sandler's buddies with and other celebrities and coming in and doing a little thing and being goofy. And him hitting long balls, and Shooter McGavin doing probably all that nonstop, and it's just like, there we go.
No.
So sorry.
Yeah.
Not.
No, it's. I really hope it's not. I hope it's not, but it will. You're right. You're right.
We hope to be wrong.
I hate you.
We hope to be wrong. Let's end on a positive note here, Keith. So if we agree that this is Adam Sandler's best/funniest film, where does it rank in all-time comedies? Let's or even just like of the 90s. I was trying to think like, oh, what bold statement could I make in this episode? Is this the best comedy of the 90s? And it's like, no, of course it's not. But like, is it top 10? Like, I don't know. Where do you? Where's
just
your
the 90s? I was thinking, whenever I see a comedy I like, I immediately start to think like, all right, where does it rank within the best comedies of all time? Not just the 90s, because then I have to say like what movies were in the 90s specifically.
Well, Dumb and Dumber, it's not as good.
Well, yeah, it's not for me. Dumb and Dumber is the best.
I would give the edge to There's Something About Mary, because I would go straight to the Farley brothers.
Yeah.
I think it's a toss-up for me personally, I know not for you, between Kingpin and Happy Gilmore. I think those are close-ish. But I mean, I don't know what other, you know, I mean, there's less broad comedies.
When
like
did The Big Lebowski come out?
The
99?
90s. Mrs. Doubtfire is a great, you know, there's a lot of great comedy films in the 90s, but I go straight to like Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey, Farrelly Brothers, you know, maybe, yeah, I don't know. Because there was a lull of R-rated comedies. Like those kind of went away in the 80s. And then the 90s was kind of more like family-focused, PG-13 comedies, of which there were some really great ones. And then it wasn't really until the early 2000s when Judd Apatow started bringing back those more R-rated ones. So it's an interesting time period for comedy features.
For sure. And I still think it's a good time period for comedy features. I like the idea of getting rid of those R-rated comedies and being more family focused in the 90s, solely for the fact that it forced people to be more narrative and story driven. Like I think the more when you lean on the R rating, it's easy to get carried away, and you can kind of see cheap gross out humor in when you get into the 2000s. That is just cheap. It's not like it forces filmmakers to be more of a film if you make it, because what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So I like the idea of that. I think to answer your question, I don't know where it falls in the 90s. It's probably a top 5 of the 90s, probably. But I think it is. I love Happy Gilmore. It's probably a top 15, I think.
All time for you?
All time.
Wow.
With don't hold me to it, because I'd have to like write it actually all out.
Yeah.
But probably in that latter 15. I don't think it gets to 20, but I think it could be anywhere from 13. Probably not 13, 14, 15, maybe 15 to 20. Let's say that maybe. I think it's going to be in that 15 to 20 range without really digging in.
Okay. Well, let's make that list. I want to see it. It'll be your personal. I think it's probably top 10 of the 90s. I feel confident in saying that. My top 10 comedies of the
You don't think
90s.
it's lower than that? I don't think we could name
I think we
10,
did. I think
10 comedies better.
No, I said top 10, so it could be 6. You know, but
Yeah,
I wouldn't say
right.
top 5 probably, because I go Dumb and Dumber, Something About Mary, American Pie was 99. I kind of think that might be in there.
Not for me, but
I think Ace Ventura, the original, that's up there pretty high.
That's 4. Yeah, so right now it's 5.
Yeah, but then I
Because
also
Ace
that's not
Ventura,
talking
the 3
about
Farrelly Brothers movies.
Mrs. Doubtfire. I think is great. Like I think that might get it out of there. I don't know. It's right there for me. It's certainly one of my favorites as a young person, and I don't want to say surprised, but I was really pleased with how hard I still laughed. Like I hadn't watched it all the way through in a while, and I have seen it 1,000 times. So like to watch it again now and be like, this is really funny. Like I'm just cackling the whole time. It's cool.
Yeah. It's great. Can't say enough about how great this specific film is. It's just such a good time. It's fun, and it's a good movie. Like for what it is, it's a good movie for what it is. Go watch. If you're new to the channel or you haven't seen the movie, go see it. Go see it.
Kids, don't ask your parents' permission. Go put it on.
Just do it.
Use their credit card. Get on Amazon. Send me
subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah.
And then go.
Yeah.
And then.
Subscribe to the highest tier of our Patreon. What's it? I think it's called the Swaggy Daddy Tier. Swaggy Daddy tier.
Be a Swaggy Daddy.
A Swaggy Daddy.
Be a Swaggy Daddy.
Send us $40 a month. You cheap little bastard.
That is correct.